Hi guys, this is Fans View TV. My name is Ahmed and joining me is Daniel, a Manchester United fan. Manchester United 4, Sheffield United 2. What do you have to say about the game?
Uh,
Wait, but before you talk, let me tell you something. Do you know that this is the first Premier League game Manchester United is winning in over how many weeks?
yeah, that's I think in the last 7 games, this is the first win. In the last three Premier League games, we picked up only 2 points. Totally in the last 6 games, we've won just one, and
Wow.
then now in the last seven, we've won. Sorry, in the last seven now we've won just one. In the last six, we've been winless. Yeah, and so it's been a very very terrible last couple of weeks. Probably the last 2 weeks actually have been very terrible, particularly for Manchester United. The game against Sheffield, if you ask me, nothing surprising. Still the same Manchester United so far this season. Can't keep a clean sheet. It's guaranteed Manchester United will concede a goal in every game. But what you just don't know is how many they will score or how many they will concede and if they'll be able rather to score enough to keep themselves in the game or win the game. But if it's about the defensive woes, it's not hidden and largely it goes to the way the club is set up to play. We play so high, having 8 men in the opponent's box, and we don't have sufficient legs to run back. We don't have some of the fastest or what's it called central defenders, and our central defensive midfielders also attacks to go so high as over 35 yards away from um, our own goal post. So it's expected. And Sheffield basically just playing for pride, if you ask me, because it's all done for them, even before this game, regardless whatever this the outcome of the game would have been. Um, was I impressed? Um, the goals are actually exciting goals, yeah, if you ask me. But then generally about the game, I wasn't impressed. This is a game Manchester United should have, even if they will concede, maybe not more than a goal, and or maybe they should have conceded from probably like some very smart game. But the first
I think
smart
I think
gameplay
Ten
rather.
Hag needs to talk to his attackers on how to kill games, kill the
Um,
opponents because Manchester United had a lot of chances in that first half. Look at that Garnacho chance. Start beating them.
Garnacho had more than one. I think he had two, three generally, but then two were much more bigger than half chances. But I think Garnacho was going for the kill himself, and one would understand for him. First off, he's been having. I think the last 3 games have been stinkers for him. Um, he's been substituted in the last four. Um, I think he didn't start the last one or something. No, sorry, he's been substituted. He was also substituted. You're right. He started rather. He was also substituted. I think about the 68 minutes or whatever for Anthony. He's been having a stinker in the last couple of games. He hasn't gotten a score sheet neither as he assisted, and so probably he was trying to maybe make up for it. It's Sheffield. Let me just have a go and see what will happen. But then at the same time, I was reading a couple of articles. I read 2 articles this week where the writers were pointing out how Highland at the end of every game in the last couple of weeks have always been lashing out on the midfielders and the wingers for the lack of chances they create despite all his runs and their refusal to bring balls into the box for him to do what the striker should do, which is actually score goals. So today again, you could see I think there was this very particular one which I expected, two rather, in the first half, which I expected, excuse me, Ganacho to square play into the box, and if not Hoyland, but then any other person could easily smash. And again, Manchester United considered our second goal considered was from the same take the
Cutback,
ball to the wing and cut back.
back. Yeah,
Again, again,
cutback
again.
is
Like
Manchester United's problem
it was
from the
sad
beginning
because
of season till date.
we don't have a reverse gear. This was since last season. If you can remember when we played Southampton last season, what was the comment of the coach at the end of the game? That they did their analysis very well. They discovered that Manchester United didn't have a reverse gear in the midfield and their back line, and then they didn't have this thing in the midfield and a reverse gear in their midfield and the back line. So they were so certain that once go on the counter, or they are able to cut back the defenders. The defenders weren't mobile or flexible enough to, recover and make blocks or whatever. So largely, well, we got the win. Good for the points. I think just for the pride. Exciting goals scored. Amazing performance by Bruno Fernandes. Yeah,
But
Casemiro also had a very good game.
before we go
Maguire
further,
had a good game also.
before we go further, sorry for cutting you.
Mm.
Last season, the pattern of play was different last season compared to this season. Last season, there was this control, overload left, move it to the right, overload the right, move it back to the level. Or they were just being they had a very nice possessive pattern of play. But this season, they decided to go and do the quick transition, Abi, or what was it called? Quick transition.
Yeah, yeah.
But today, I saw Ten Hag trying to do what he did last season. Will you say
he tried to manage
Eriksen?
the game? Yeah, he tried. He tried. He tried to manage the game.
Eriksen was the main man that brought that
No,
control to the game today? Because no. Look at it now. Last season,
We played against.
wait,
Come on, this is Sheffield. This is Sheffield.
I know that
We
this
played
is
against
Sheffield. I
Sheffield.
know that this is Sheffield.
No, please.
But wait now. I know that this is Sheffield. But we've played against lower teams that have penetrated our midfield as if there's no tomorrow. But today, because just my opinion, you can criticize it. But I feel the introduction of Eriksen today brought that control.
Okay, so should he play Eriksen? Hold on. Once we're up against Arsenal, so you want to see Eriksen start against Arsenal?
No. Eriksen cannot play against Arsenal. I'm just saying that a team that is going to come and defend, you can play Eriksen. Because Eriksen,
I would agree. I would agree with you.
I would agree. Unlock opponents. Unlock others.
I would agree with you.
But if it's something that has to do with energy, I don't know if you can remember the second half. There was something that he did that Casemiro was shouting at.
Casemiro let loose on him. Yeah. How would you were in front of you were a couple of yards ahead of the opponent. You got the ball, brought the ball down, but the opponent muscled you and took the ball and hit on the counter. And this was almost at the final third of the pitch before Casemiro came in and had to slide in to defensively take off the ball, and then he had to lash out on Eriksen. So let's leave it at that. Eriksen, well, he had a good game, a decent game, not a good game. He was just there. But look, I can't wait for the end of the season. Eriksen has to leave the club. Varane has to leave the club. Lindelof has to leave the club. I don't mind if we gamble with the youths we have. I'd rather gamble with these youths and lose than have these, in quotes, experienced lads earning heavy wages, on fans tickets and jersey and whatever, all this merchandising that fans cashing on, and then every week you continue giving the fans reasons to be hot. No, in all, it was just a decent game. Come on, this is Sheffield conceding 2 goals. Struggling the whole of the second half to impose your game. The first 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes in the second half, you couldn't impose yourself in the game. Sheffield, had to even score before you and all that. Yeah, managed to get the win, but it wasn't really. Come on, this Sheffield sitting at the last, on the last position on the log. So it was just expected. Come on, you should.
There was something I read today. I read something today that they had a meeting with Wilcox, and Wilcox told him that he must play possession football or else. So it was start with Sheffield United. So that was why they had decided to play possession football today. Do you believe that story? Wilcox is the new technical director.
Yes, technical director. I don't know. Probably we'll see what happens in the next couple of games. If they take to that in the next couple of games, then obviously it could be that
because
finally.
I said what I didn't like. I don't like what Ten Hag did. Yes, beginning of season. Yes, he wants us to play this high intensity and the rest, but I feel he should have maintained what he did last season. That pattern
I agree with what you're saying. Louis van Gaal said something when he started off. You remember he started off by insisting on ball retention. And the whole of the English media was let loose on him, but he kept on saying something. He said, look, before you attack, before you be that offensive threat, a complete threat both on the offensive and the defensive, areas of play. You have to be confident and comfortable on the ball. And if you could remember, he said he needed these players to be comfortable. And then the next season, he started crying that he needed a deadly winger. That was when we went for Di Maria, and then sadly it didn't work out with Di Maria and all that.
When we
Because he
tried getting
felt that
Sadio Mane and it didn't work out.
yeah, so he at the time he already was like, okay, these guys are beginning to understand. You could remember then, we used to say that Manchester United games were so boring. We outpossessed the whole team, end the game 1-0. But he kept on saying that he cared less, that they were sticking to instructions, they were playing what they had to play. When he wants to go for the killer, he brings in a Fellaini who brings all the job he does is just to bring down the ball for the midfielders to come and smash it, and all of that will get the grab and will go. But you could see that the team was beginning to have an identity. And he made a comment. He said, look, we have to move away from the whole DNA talk and the whole self-everything, whatever, and set, have a standardized play pattern that the entire club, down to the academy, that affect the entire club down to the academy. You could remember he said this way back 9 years ago. And I and you agree that he should have remained in the club. I think sacking Louis van Gaal at the time, the club did, was quite a very, very wrong move. And that's the reason why, 9 years down the line, the club is still where they are and still trying to do what Louis van Gaal was saying they should do way back 9 years ago. He intended to coach the team properly. He intended to instill discipline. He intended to cut the wings of players and reduce the degree or the level of player power,
Yeah.
and all the influences of agents in the franchise, largely in the football club, largely. These are the things he pointed out. And when he said that the club wasn't run by knowledgeable football heads, he pointed out this thing. Mourinho pointed out the same thing. So look, it's not a hoax that we are where we are today. These things were there, but it was all about cosmetic approach. They needed to make more money. Oh, sign the Pogba, sell jerseys. Cosmetic, have a good season. Just let's see what we can do with money. But then, look, 9 years down the line, we're here now. We intend to finally come and build. So I'm hopeful. If they want to go for possession or whatever, I'll be hopeful. One season possessing the ball, from the second season, inject pace. Third season, inject more pace. It will make more sense. At the time, you know that the players are more comfortable with the ball, they can outpossess the team, they can outplay the team, impose themselves. And Arteta did the same thing. Arteta, first 2 seasons, he insisted on a certain style of play, possessed the ball, outpossessed the teams. From his third and fourth season currently now, he injected pace. Arsenal is actually faster than they used to be now.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so fast now. Their transitions are so fast, and they move from offense to defense in split seconds. You see their recoveries. They're always recovering with not less than 6 men when they're recovering.
Exactly.
So it wasn't like that two seasons ago. So if that's what the direction or the pattern the club is intending to, swing towards, for me, it's a win. It's actually what we should have done, 8-9 years ago. And so I don't know. Like I said, it's been written. It's a couple of here and there's hearsays and all that. But then let's see the next couple of games we'll have throughout the end of the season, and let's see what happens. Yeah.
All right. Problem. Thank you very much for joining me. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Ahmed. Yeah, nice talking, right? Nice having you.
All right. All right. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, Ahmed. Yeah.